Okay, chemical reactions, chapter 7. Here's a picture of the space shuttle. In the space shuttle's main engines, hydrogen molecules and oxygen molecules that are stored in the central fuel tank react violently to form water molecules. And that reaction emits enough energy to propel the space shuttle into space. All that from oxygen and hydrogen. And here in this picture we have an illustration. Here's hydrogen particles. Oh, good grief. Hydrogen particles, hydrogen molecules, those are the oxygen molecules, the hydrogen molecules, and those combining form water. That's a chemical reaction. So, one definition of a chemical reaction, the transformation of one or more substances into different substances. We've talked about chemical reactions in the form of chemical changes. A chemical reaction and a chemical change are the same thing. In a chemical change, you have one substance that's changing into another substance. The particles are different. You may have made a volcano when you were in grade school. They don't do these in kindergarten, so I don't know why he's calling them kindergarten volcanoes. But if you mix baking soda and acetic acid, which is in vinegar, it forms carbon dioxide gas, water, and sodium acetate. And that's something that you can do very safely at home. When I was a kid, what we used to do is we used to take glass pop bottles, which, that kind of dates me right there, and you put the baking soda and the vinegar in there, and you stick a cork in them, and then you wait. And the pressure builds up, and the cork goes, and it was just lots and lots of fun. But that's a chemical reaction. That is an example of a gas evolution reaction. Reactions that occur in liquids and form a gas are called gas evolution reactions because they evolve or give off a gas. When you mix the vinegar and the baking soda, carbon dioxide gas is formed. That's why you see all that bubbling and fizzing. And that's evidence of a chemical reaction. You've got chemical reactions that occur in your car when the engine is on. You get hydrocarbons in the gasoline. One of them is octane. And those combine with oxygen from the air. We say they combust, hence the name internal combustion engine. And when they burn, they form carbon dioxide and water. So here we have octane, and the other molecules that are in gasoline are similar to that, reacting with oxygen inside your engine. And it produces carbon dioxide, which is a gas. And the gas is what moves the pistons in the engine up and down. This is called a combustion reaction. These are a subcategory of oxidation-reduction reactions in which electrons are transferred from one substance to another. Now that's not at all obvious at this point. But this is a combustion reaction. A combustion reaction is something burning, basically. And what is necessary for something to burn? Oxygen. So when we see something reacting with oxygen, it's a pretty safe bet to say that's a combustion reaction. Laundry detergents. There are chemical reactions that happen in your laundry machine, your washing machine. You probably know that laundry detergent is better than soap. The problem with soap is it reacts with the calcium and magnesium in the hard water, which we have hard water around here because it comes from wells. The soap reacts with magnesium and calcium and forms insoluble compounds. And we call that soap scum. And you see that in your bathroom, right? You get this yuck that builds up on the fixtures. Before it dries out, it's a gray, slimy substance. They call it curd or soap scum. Detergents work better because they have substances that get rid of the magnesium and the calcium ions. Essentially, they have water softeners built into the laundry detergent. One of those substances is sodium carbonate. The sodium carbonate will dissolve in the water, and the carbonate ions will react with the calcium and the magnesium, and they'll form solid calcium carbonate and magnesium carbonate. And those are just going to settle out to the bottom of your washing machine, and they'll just get washed out. The little tiny particles, they'll just get washed out, and then the detergent can go ahead and get the dirt off your clothing. A reaction like this is called a precipitation reaction, a reaction that forms a solid substance. So we had some precipitation this weekend, right? It rained, finally, and it rained. That was real rain. I grew up in Minnesota and Iowa, and that's the kind of rain we get like a couple times a week in the summer. It just pours like that. It rains. It's awesome. That's precipitation. Snow is also called precipitation, right? It's stuff falling from the sky. Precipitation in chemistry is when you mix two solutions together and you get a solid that's formed that wasn't there before. And sometimes when you do the reaction like with little test tubes, it actually looks like it's snowing. So precipitation is a solid that's forming